Welcome to A Marvelous Life. As always, I'm Nashology, and today we are continuing our story of Norman Osborn and his government-sponsored Thunderbolts. But quickly, if you haven't watched part 1 or 2 on this channel, go ahead and do so. We'll be right here when you get back. As a quick recap, Norman's team of Thunderbolts are a complete disaster. Moonstone and Songbird are in a bitter struggle for team leadership. The hero-turned-vigilante Penance is a walking time bomb. And Venom basically ate a guy. Needless to say, these Thunderbolts are not making Norman too proud. But what do you expect? Most of this roster are not actually ex-villains. They're very much still villains. So, with all that said, we have a lot to cover in this video. Norman Osborn is going to try and rein his soldiers in and produce a team that is adored by the public and above killing other superheroes. Will Songbird steer the Thunderbolts in a more heroic direction? Will Penance finally snap? Will Moonstone successfully manipulate herself into Norman Osborn's director chair? And finally, will Venom eat another guy's arm? I guess we'll find out. This is the continuation of the Thunderbolts.
Charges have been dropped against the Thunderbolts during the capture of the Steel Spider in Phoenix.
Native American superhero Jason Strongbow has been released from custody following an altercation with the Thunderbolts.
Listen, these Thunderbolts are reckless and dangerous. They should be locked up, not police officers. If it were up to me...
After a devastating injury, team leader Moonstone has been replaced by Songbird. This comes as no surprise.
With Prison 42 scrutinized, Tony Stark is looking for a new home for unregistered superheroes. Analysts suggest Thunderbolt's mansion as a potential replacement.
It's been a long few weeks for Norman Osborn as he tries to pick up the pieces of the ever-crumbling Thunderbolts program. No matter what he does, his hand-picked team of wannabe heroes are simply that, wannabes. And to make matters worse, half of his team aren't even on the field. It's an all-around mess. Moonstone is injured, Bullseye is a paraplegic, Swordsman is an idiot, and Penance is, well, Penance is a nanosecond away from killing every living person in Thunderbolts Mountain. The Thunderbolts are a disaster, but that doesn't mean they can't improve. Nobody said this job would be easy. But in order to improve, the Thunderbolts need their team leader back in the field. Norman needs someone he can trust, which means Moonstone better get her arm fixed ASAP. Norman needs her now more than ever. And Moonstone herself would like to take out some aggression on an unsuspecting foe. That is, once her arm is combat ready. But a phone call interrupts the meeting.
Hello, sir. Penance was just cleared for duty. He's being moved now.
Yes, thank you.
As soon as the call ends, Moonstone springs from her chair. Wait a second. Penance is being moved right now? That means he's being moved past Cell Block A, a jail filled with criminals. Criminals who know who Penance is. And before Moonstone can finish her sentence, Norman moves for interference, because something bad is about to happen. The loud clang of metal fills the halls as the rowdy prisoners of Thunderbolts Mountain make their presence known.
Hey, child killer.
Unprovoked, one of the prisoners begins taunting Penance. He wants to get underneath his skin. He tells Penance that he's their role model. Kill a couple hundred children and get offered a government job. Sounds like an incredible deal. Maybe everyone should start killing children. Why not? Clearly Tony Stark likes to employ child killers. Because that's all Penance is good for, killing innocents and walking away unscathed. What a hero. Hearing enough, Penance grabs a pen from the doctor and stabs himself in the chest, allowing his blood to run free and pain to consume him. Laughing at his psychopathy, the criminal asks why he just stabbed himself. To which Penance calmly replies,
"Because it turns my powers on."
half of cell block A in ruins, Penance briskly confronts the loudmouthed criminal, who begs for his life. In an instant, he regrets every word that was released from his mouth.
No, please.
But Penance isn't listening. He's done being stepped on. SHIELD agents rush into the cell block as Penance beats the criminal to within an inch of his life. The pain is fueling his powers, and now he can't stop. Or rather, he won't stop. Barely alive, the SHIELD agents wrestle with consciousness. Who knew Penance was that powerful? But now, he needs to be taken out before he brings the whole mountain down. And with a powerful blast from Moonstone's hand, Penance is lifted off the ground and head first into a concrete wall, knocking the young man unconscious and painting the cold hard walls with his blood. Picking up a nearby weapon, Norman knows that Thunderbolts Mountain isn't safe as long as Penance is alive. He tried rehabilitating him, but it's no use. He's crazed, a psychopath. He needs to be put down like the rabid dog he is. He's not safe. But wait, look at this destruction, this power. Penance can do Hulk-level damage. He just needs to be controlled and reined in. Imagine a world where Norman Osborn has his own Hulk at his command. Think of the possibilities. And in that moment, a light bulb goes off in Norman's head as he casually lowers his weapon. Many, many possibilities indeed. It's a quiet day for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department as crime has reached a record low, all thanks to the Thunderbolts program. But today, the LVMPD are about to have their hands full. Stepping up to the counter, the man introduces himself as Mindwave. He has a friendly demeanor with a touch of excitement in his voice. He tells the officer to remember his name. He wants to make sure his deeds go recognized. After all, he needs to look good for his date with the Thunderbolts. Eyes filled with shock, the police officer brandishes his weapon, but it's no good, because Mindwave doesn't like weapons aimed at him.
Huh? How are you doing this?
In fact, he likes police officers even less. With half of the police station ripped to its foundations, Mindwave stands his ground. He's only here for one reason, and he won't stop until he's fulfilled.
All right, take him down.
With his decimation of the police station complete, Mindwave stands proud amidst the broken bodies of the police officers. His job is almost complete. Kneeling down on the floor, Mindwave puts his hands behind his head and surrenders himself to the authorities. After all, what better way to introduce himself to the Thunderbolts? It's a cold day in the Colorado Rockies as Thunderbolts Mountain prepares for its next visitor. A visitor sent by Tony Stark himself. Someone to make sure that Norman Osborn is running a tight ship. Someone by the name of Dr. Leonard Sampson, a man with a Hulk-sized attitude. This man is Doc Samson, psychiatrist to the superhero community. Although his green hair looks like a pretty weird fashion choice, it's actually the result of gamma radiation poisoning. You see, Doc Samson here is a Hulk. With super strength, insane resilience, and unnatural stamina, there are few humans who can go toe-to-toe with the Hulk multiple times and live to tell the tale. Doc Samson is one of those people. Norman Osborn approaches the Doctor with his hand outstretched. It's not every day you meet a Hulk. Conversely, Leonard thinks, it's not every day you meet a schizophrenic serial killer. One that should be put down like a diseased animal.
I know what you are.
Wait!
No, this isn't the time or place. Norman Osborn gets to live, at least for today. Shaking hands, Norman welcomes Doc Samson to Thunderbolts Mountain. He's a special guest today and will have all his needs taken care of. The Doctor's here for a specific purpose, to check on the mental health and status of Robbie Baldwin, codename Penance. He knows who these criminals are and wants nothing to do with them. They are government-sponsored trash bags. He's only here for Robbie. And with a quick outburst, Doc Samson demands to see him right now. It's time to skip the pleasantries. After Robbie's latest display of violence, he has been sequestered in a dark holding cell. And with one disturbed look from Doc Samson, he knows exactly what's going on in Thunderbolts Mountain. It's all too clear. Abuse, maltreatment, and a sure violation of human rights, all of which are written all over Robbie's face. Norman isn't the only one who needs a beating.
Doc Samson, smash criminal.
No, not today. The Doctor isn't here to smash criminals, regardless of how good it would feel. So he tells Moonstone to take a hike. He doesn't need her skulking around. Besides, there's only room for one psychiatrist, and Moonstone is second tier at best. She may be Norman Osborn's right-hand woman, but she's still a sneaky witch. And right now, Doc Samson wants all these disgusting criminals out of his sight. It's time to get to work.
Hello, Robbie. My name is Leonard Samson. I'm here on behalf of Tony Stark. How are you doing? You used to go by Speedball, didn't you? The New Warriors. I remember you back then, always happy and laughing. It's a shame what happened to you. One minute you're on top of the world, laughing with your friends, enjoying every moment of your life. A superhero, celebrated by the masses. And then it all ends. Your whole life crashes down, your entire world now burning. You blame yourself for the Civil War, for the deaths of those children. You blame yourself for everything. Inside you want to die, but you don't have the courage to pull the trigger. You're a coward who can't face his demons.
Why are you talking to me like this?
Because only cowards search for pain. Only cowards create a costume filled with spikes so they can continuously hurt themselves.
You think I want to die, huh? Is that it?
I think you want me to hurt you. I have powers too. I think you know that. And I think you want me to reach across and make you feel pain. So here, take this knife. Hurt yourself. We both know you want to. Take out your anger on me, Robbie. Use the knife. I read your report, you know. Your powers only unlock when you feel pain. You're addicted to the pain, the punishment. It's the only way you can function. It's the only way you truly feel alive. Such a coward.
What do you want with me? Why are you doing this?
Because I'm the only one who can help you. I'm the only one who can take your punishment. See for yourself. Try me. Hit me with everything you got. Come on, do it, you coward. Hit me. Now you know, Robbie. I'm the guy you can't hurt. I'm your safe haven. I'm your path to redemption. All I ask is you trust me, Robbie. Trust me to help put the pieces back together. Together we will bring Speedball back to life. What do you say, Robbie?
Okay, I trust you.
After his destructive display at the Las Vegas Police Department, the man known as Mindwave is escorted through Thunderbolts Mountain. Entering his jail cell, Mindwave can't help but smile. It's a beautiful thing when plans come together. But Mindwave isn't alone. In fact, he knows exactly who's locked up with him. Because what better way to take down Thunderbolts Mountain than from the inside? And what better way to do it than to combine the efforts of several psychics? Step 1. Get arrested individually and locked up in Thunderbolts Mountain. Easy enough. Step 2. Read the minds of every SHIELD agent in sight. Figure out a way to start some chaos. Step 3. Tear this mountain apart, inch by inch. And Step 4. Kill every single Thunderbolt you can find. It's been a long day for Norman Osborn. He almost killed Penance, and half of his team are warming the bench. He needs to take his pills. He's feeling off today, and the recent chaos is starting to get to him. But everything will be all right. After all, who would have thought Norman Osborn would be on the winning side? Well, he hasn't won yet. It can't be real. The Green Goblin is dead. It's in the past. It can't possibly be here. Or can it? Rushing to Norman's aid, his secretary asks what happened. The whole mountain could hear him scream. And with a sense of dread painted across his face, Norman points to the open desk drawer. A literal gateway to his personal hell. But nothing is in there. Nothing but paper and shadows. Nothing to warrant the state of fear currently gripping Norman's reality. His secretary asks if Norman would like some stronger medication, something to keep his feet on the ground. To which he vehemently agrees. Stronger medication? Yes, much stronger. He can't be going crazy right now. He shouldn't be. His medication is supposed to be working. He needs to stay sane. He has to. This is his chance at a new life. His chance to be better. If he needs stronger medication, then so be it. Anything but this. Anything. On the other side of Thunderbolts Mountain, Dr. Leonard Sampson continues to build his bond with Robbie Baldwin. After their initial meeting, Robbie has finally come to terms with his situation. A situation that is delicate, to say the least. He's a man tortured by his past. A man with no direction and no positive outlet for his inner pain. Robbie tells Doc Sampson that he didn't mean to cause the Civil War. He didn't mean for all those children to die. If it was up to him, he would take it all back in a heartbeat. His friends, the New Warriors, just wanted to make the world a better place. They thought their TV show would inspire others to fight evil. They thought they were doing the right thing. But before they could understand what was happening, the entire world seemed to end. A bright white flash that changed the world forever. In its ashes, a civil war was born. Because of him, the heroes were at each other's throats. Close friends, now battling one another as fierce enemies. A living nightmare thrust onto the waking world. For a while, it seemed like it couldn't get much worse. How could it? But as usual, we were wrong. Robbie just wanted to feel important. He wanted the world to see him as a superhero. someone to look up to. And now, he feels like nothing but a hollowed-out wreck of a human, a disgrace to Captain America's memory. He just wants to feel alive again. He wants his penance to end. Cold and dark. Every minute of the day, this is all he feels. Just cold and dark. Life hasn't been the same for Mac Gargan ever since he picked up the Venom symbiote, and it's only getting worse. Every single day that passes, everything is getting colder and darker, and the pain is only getting worse.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Because you're useless, Mac Gargan. You're a whiny baby and a useless maggot. You don't have the balls to do what needs to be done. You used to be a killer. Now you're just a mindless tool. I want more blood. I want more bodies. And you need to start acting like a real Thunderbolt.
But why? Why do I have to kill more people?
Because I said so! It's time for me to take the driver's seat. If you won't kill, then I will have all the fun myself.
No, please, no more killing.
Either we start dropping bodies, or I eat you. From the inside out. I've always wondered what a scorpion tastes like.
Hey, did you talk to Swordsman today?
No? Why? Something up with him?
I don't know. He was friendly and a lot more talkative than usual.
Yeah, that is weird. Normally, he's just a weird pervert.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what there is to be happy about. It's not like he's...
The sound of the explosion carries throughout Thunderbolts Mountain, alerting every available agent in sight. Running straight to the fire, Songbird and the radioactive man hurry to the rescue. But it's no use. A dozen dead SHIELD agents and a blazing inferno spinning out of control. It's an utter catastrophe. Thankfully, Songbird knows exactly what to do. With the fire reduced to a smoldering ash, Songbird quickly checks around for survivors. Whoever did this must have done it from the inside. Someone is making a move on the Thunderbolts, and they need to find out who. With the disaster reaching his desk, Norman Osborn calls an emergency lockdown of Thunderbolts Mountain. All the Thunderbolts are accounted for, everyone besides Venom and Swordsman. Moonstone tells Norman that Venom is on his way, but Swordsman is nowhere to be found. He's not answering his comms. And with a stomach filled with dread, Norman screams for a security team to find Swordsman immediately. He knew that bastard couldn't be trusted.
Go, go, go!
Finally, food.
Venom, there you are. Mountain's locked down. Can you give us a hand?
You need a hand? Funny. That's exactly what I need.
Venom, no!
More food. Looks like I'm in charge now.
With the entire mountain on lockdown, Andreas von Strucker casually carries out his business. If the world is on fire, Andreas is going to inherit the ashes, just like his father would have wanted. Andreas is finished playing the swordsman for Norman Osborn. He's finished taking orders. His bomb was effective. Many SHIELD agents are dead. All that blood happily on the swordsman's hands. Many of the guards are now on his side, and that's good, because he'll need all the help he can get if he's going to see this through. It's time the swordsman gets his sister back from Norman Osborn, or he will kill every single soul he can find. I hope you enjoyed part 3 of the Thunderbolts. If you remember from part 1 of this series, Moonstone has been manipulating Norman's medication in hopes that he will break, thus leaving the seat of director open for the taking. And as of right now, it seems like Moonstone's plan is going quite smoothly. As for Venom, it seems like Mac Gargan has officially lost the driver's seat. Is it because Venom is actually hungry, or does Mindwave and his psychic buddies have their hands on the steering wheel? And finally, what's going on with Swordsman? He's responsible for the bomb within Thunderbolts Mountain. Why? Well, if you remember from part 2, Norman Osborn promised to recreate Andreas' sister using cloning technology. My guess is Andreas doesn't feel like waiting for his sister to be revived. He wants her now, or he's gonna burn down the whole mountain. Seems like Penance may not be the craziest Thunderbolt after all. Stay tuned for part 4 of the series on the Thunderbolts. Believe me, things are only getting crazier. Till next time, I'm Nashology, and this is A Marvelous Life.